Hey you guys, this is Tara, and I am coming to you with another video, the next video in my video series. Actually, this is going to be a clip of me explaining this tool and kind of teaching it to a class that I gave recently about the basics, the basic tools. And this is the tool, Who Does This Belong To? Just know, no translator was harmed in the making of this video, and they may have just had to say a few choice words that was kind of fun, and maybe say some things. I don't know, you'll see in the video. But anyway, nonetheless, this is Who Does This Belong To? And enjoy. Be so happy driving down the street, and then all of a sudden I'd get next to somebody that wasn't even doing anything, and then in an instant I'd be like, what the hell? What the fuck? What the fuck? All the way to work. And then I get to work and I would just be angry, you know, pissed off all day. And so here's the thing. There's this thing in Access. It's like, what if 98% of all of your thoughts, all of your feelings, and all of your emotions do not belong to you? Now everybody's gonna be like, what? But I love my emotions. I love my sadness. I love my drama. Oh, Dio mio. I was gonna make Fur do that. Oh, Dio mio. So guys, if you like your telenovelas, this tool, do not use it, because it will delete your telenovela from your life. Okay? So here's the thing. I'm getting goosebumps. I enjoy to see the translate. If people want to see your translations, you guys. Okay. All right. So let's just say this is something that I'm going to use driving to give this example. Okay. So let's just say you're driving down the street and you're happy. You're probably jamming on your music. And then all of a sudden you get next to a certain car and you're back to like, what the, you know, like what the hell? And then you end up in a bad mood. Or better, even more fun, the telenovela, when you're driving, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, you just start crying. And then the thing is that you don't really, some of us females kind of know this pretty well, where we will cry for no reason, but we're like, why am I crying? I don't know why I'm crying. And then we go back and we start to look for memories of like, oh, why am I crying? And then we find something, we're like, oh, it was from this person 2 years ago. Oh, I broke up with them. And then we have something to cry and be sad about the whole rest of the day. So here's the thing. This is how we can delete our telenovelas from our lives, okay? This tool. Who does this belong to? Thank you very much. It's that simple. So instead of going, you know, basically if you're driving and if you have a switch of emotion, if you go from happy and light and that expansiveness that we just learned about ourselves, if you go from that to anything that's heavy and condensed, that is not you. That is not your being, okay? That, at that point, I would be like, oh, who does this belong to? And if it's something that makes you angry, who the f does this belong to? I just made them all curse. There's like cracking up. So yeah, so at that point, what happens if it lightens up, it was never yours to begin with, okay? So let's just say, we'll go back to the crying in the car, right? Because it's always so much fun to cry in your car. Even with this tool, I sometimes will sit in the car and just be like, let me just get it all out because it feels good afterwards. Anyway, but still, so yeah, driving in the car and you get that sudden wave of sadness, right? Like, whew, oh my God. Okay, sorry, I just got an idea. I'll say it in a minute. So let's just say you're driving down the road and you got all these cars, and then you see like a hearse or like a funeral procession, and you're driving, then all of a sudden you get the wave of sadness. We think it's ours, but now you have the tool. Oh, who does this belong to? Who does this belong to? If it lightens up, it was never yours. You don't have to go searching in your memories for when you broke up with Johnny like 5 years ago and all that stuff. You can just be like, oh, it wasn't, never mine. And so the reason I brought up the funeral procession is because I actually had an experience where I was driving. I started feeling sad. I didn't know where it was coming from. I asked, who does this belong to? And then a little bit more further by driving, it was like this big funeral procession. I was like, oh, all these people are sad. So what if, as energetic beings, we are just so aware that we will pick up on the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions of people for about 8,000 miles all around us. Okay, that's and even more if you're an X-Men, is some of us are very, very sensitive and can pick up on things like across the world, right? I mean, right now, most Access Consciousness classes are online, and Dr. Dane here is working on bodies and working on people around the world. So energy is infinite. We are that aware that we can tap in. I could possibly, if me and Deb were gonna do a one-on-one session, she's in Australia, I'm in the USA, I can tap in, if we were one-on-one, I could possibly tap in and see her entire world and we could like play energetically. And as you do this work, you'll start to sense that stuff. Okay? If you notice when you are sensing this stuff about, you know, thoughts, feelings, emotions, and especially if you start getting weird at family parties or social, this is what got me out of like social anxiety, you guys, is like going out and getting these sensations and then being like, oh, who does this belong to? Okay, cool, it's not mine. Well, return this to sender with consciousness attached. So you can return everything to wherever it came from. You can say, return this to sender, and it'll go back to wherever it came from. When you add with consciousness attached, let's just say if it was something that was heavy and holding you down or just something really wonky, you can just be like, you know what, return this to sender with consciousness attached. That means that if anything got sent to you, you're actually adding a bit of consciousness to that. When it goes to that person, they'll start to receive consciousness. And so that means that that thing will start to be able to change for that person. So you're not hurting anyone when you send their stuff back to them. A lot of times they will choose it back anyway, because if you notice, you go to the same gathering every year, you end up seeing the same person dealing with the same stuff, and you're making them feel better. And then you leave feeling like a bag of rocks. So there it's like, okay, who does this belong to? I return it to sender with consciousness attached. Because then they will start to become aware of it so that they can change it. So you want to, so those are some different ways and uses that you can use the tool, who does this belong to? And the reason I said this can make you sleep better is because if you're all chatty in your head at night, you know, and you try to count the sheep, but the sheep are just, even the sheep are annoying you. You're like, these guys aren't cute anymore. I can only envision so many sheep. What you can do is just be like, who does this belong to? Is this even mine? And now return it to sender with consciousness attached. Woo. Okay. Okay, guys, so that was a couple clips of my explanation of the tool, who does this belong to? If you liked what you see, I have a group on Facebook called Out of the In Crowd. You can search and join there, or continue to check out these videos on my watch page at Taglienti CFMW.
And also just stay tuned. I'll be putting out some more content, and the next video will be even more basic energy tools that you can begin to use to just create a lot more ease in your life and to create things in general. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This is Tara. I'm out, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.